Hello people, hope you're okay. I was just trying to give you an update on what I've been doing and why I've been gone for a while. I'm not just busy, but also trying to look at different possibilities. In a previous film, I was messing around with the idea of the Wardencliff tower top section, and it has hidden dimensions and all kinds of things that I'm going to try and explain right now. This is my first 3D experience, so I had to glue parts together just to try and get a view. What I like to do is to build things and then I can investigate them with just investigate them thoroughly, what I think is the whole point to these structures and shapes. So what I'm realizing is, we'll go over to here. This is my not very good drawing of the Wardencliff Tower, but I want to explain what I think is going on. So we have the input part of the Tesla coil. That, as far as I'm aware, will go up to this here, which would be this inner ring, sorry, the outer ring here on these legs. So basically this whole structure here stops and is grounded. This is grounding. It doesn't, this is free floating, this top part. So basically, if my idea is, this is the ground, okay? The whole structure is grounded to here. This is made of wood, which should have the ability to insulate what's going on, frequency and whatever else. So the top ring, which will be an inductive coupling here from this ring, this will be the negative, all of this at one point, and this is the positive, as I see it. In between would be where you would have the kinetic or static to, which we will find out if it becomes kinetic energy at a later point. So if this is, as I see it, working on the Schumann resonance, as it was at 7 point something beats per second. So if this can oscillate at the same as the Schumann resonance in through this structure, and as we stop after the 7 point something beats per second, this should have increased in mass. You won't see the mass, but the pressure would have increased this way. Nature's natural balance will then want to come back in this way into this top, which is a capacitive material. So it's, as I can see, the way back would then be through this and hop over again and want to find the grounding. So it would go this way, back down into the coil, which would then work as a two layer or two system setup. So it would be pumped in, stop, this way, wait for the pressure build up to collapse again, come back in through here, and then out into capacitors and motor generation. I think that's what was supposed to happen, and he had a slow build-up, as I read, a very slow build-up, because the pressures were that extreme, depending on weather also, that you could have had a ball lightning situation. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to continue with this study of this, because these whole structures, as you can see, these pieces have a golden ratio form. We have the rings, which would, if you could see all the way through, would act like a ripple in the pond. And I think that's what's happening. As it comes in, the pressure back would hit the structure, and it would, if you like, I'm expecting it to be a kind of a ring situation, like a bell would be. But instead of a bell, with the tone, you will receive a hit of energy. Again, next phase, I have to build this in a metal form, which isn't going to be easy. And then I will have the inside would be a cone shape from the top. Continuing on the outside, the internal will be, again, it will be covered. So this will be covered, and this will be covered, and this whole structure will be covered. But this is important inside. We can't just have a dome, or if we have a donut on the bottom, that would then have an internal part, which is this, and then we would have the triangle. So there's three shapes involved: square, triangle, and circle. If we put a circle, for example, which is the base, it's also the top, it's also following us throughout this this design. If we have the circle, then we have the square. This is the Tesla Tower's real base shape. This is the shape when you're looking down. So we have the triangle, if you like, we have the square, and we have the circle. The three shapes. How many sides do these have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is an 8-sided 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Interesting. I don't know about the 369, but there's some interesting designs. When I looked at this design, of course, there needs to be 40 segments here, 40 of these. Dividing 40 into 360 gives you some interesting numbers. So we have a lot of interesting shapes, and they can't just be irrelevant. Everything he did had a meaning. And I think this would definitely be similar to how Bedini would use his motor to switch the polarity, and on the next revolution the polarity would hit back, similar to this, negative to positive, negative, positive. That's where I am. If you've got any comments, don't hesitate to write. And if there's anything constructive that can help me make these designs faster, then I can test them faster. Yeah, any help is welcome. Take care, guys.